Gasp. We're live. Is there sound? Am I heard? Can you hear me? Can I be heard? Yes, that's great. We're off to a great start, a fantastic start. Gotta get some Got to get some actual stuff on the screen here. Let's see. Just a second. I got a couple of things going on right now, all at the same time. No preview window. Discord's not turned on yet. Those of you waiting in the Discord to jump in, hold up just a moment. I want to grab my stream elements stuff. It's not wanting to show up, which is a little weird. Stream avatars, I doubt very much they'll turn on. But I should try anyway. They break 9 out of every 10 times I try to use stream avatars, which is very unfortunate. Already set up for HeroQuest. Just connect. Just connect. Go, let's go. So don't think they'll pop up on the screen. Looks like a scene out of Spaceballs. Got this on the lowest latency possible. Well, there I am. There's me. For some reason. Yep. Discord stuff popping in the corner of the screen. Hopefully I can end that. Don't think there's a way to do it, unfortunately. Webcam, screen capture. Screen capture is the only one, and I think it's probably fine, but I would like for my chat box. I would actually rather the screen capture not be that big. There we go. Then the chat box. Chat box properties. I don't. Read access. I don't know if that's going to matter. I doubt very much that's going to matter, but there's that. Hey, we have more. Stream avatars works. I can't believe it. I can't believe it works. Holy crap. The chat box isn't working. But for those of you who want the chat is definitely live down below. You can still get access to that. We can grow this up a little bit. I'm so happy about that. Who do we have here? We've got Remy. Toxicognath Hugs. Revenant. It's my kitten's favorite YouTuber. That's awesome. Say hello to your kitten for me. It's Lovely Shar. Canis Valensis. Hi. Charlie from France. Elviler. N Black. Sergeant House. The Lead Will Walk the Earth. Anima. Jacinto de Sousa. There's a lot of people here. Hi. Hello, everybody. That'll work. That'll work. So we are here. I'll just move this to the second monitor, which I unwisely placed way over there. It's still in the same place that it was when I was doing my... I can't abide by this. Hold on, just a second. Just a second, folks. Gosh. Heck. Oh, man. Crap. Dang it. Crud. Well, that's marginally better. I got it kind of sort of close over here. This is just not working. It's not working. The chat box, I can't get the chat box to come up in the thing. But you know what? That's okay though. That's okay. That's all right. That's okay. We are going to check out the to be clear, this isn't a love stream, right? Every HeroQuest stream is a love stream. We're going to check out my Discord, and we're going to check out the GenCon spoilers. And we're going to take a look. I want to take a little bit of a look at the Facebook, but I really don't like getting people's names on the stream. They didn't ask for that. So, like, we won't go to Facebook and look at this stuff or the old in or any of that. We'll stick to the Discord. Most people in the Discord are pretty cool with sharing information and stuff. And we've got a lot of stuff from GenCon revealed today. And we'll just go ahead and delete that meme because it's funny and it's totally appropriate, but not for the stream. That's okay. And we'll just go ahead and bring the Discord right over here so everybody can see what's going on. And I want to say hello to even more folks. Lessened, that's Archean. How you doing? Walter Hunter. Hoping they have new skills for the existing heroes that would make it worth it to me. We are reacting today to the presence of First Light at GenCon. And before I unlock the podcast channel, which it's open, anybody can hop in there right now. It's just not connected to the stream yet. Or rather, I'm not connected to it, so you won't hear the guests just yet. But anybody who wants to join, who has access to the podcast interview fireside channel in the Amalgam Ash Studios LLC Discord, my Discord, you can join in, and we'll talk a little bit about this today. But there's been a lot of reveals, and I'll just put up this lovely image that Ribby shared in the Discord. This is the official HeroQuest board, the bottom side of it. The board is confirmed double-sided. There's so much going on, and one of the things I wanted to throw out there was that when First Light was revealed at GenCon, there were many people who astutely observed that the box art is entirely different. It is a completely different box art than the box art that was shown to us in preview images and teasers and the like on the Avalon Hill official Instagram and the one that was shared everywhere on Facebook afterwards. The one I made videos about, there was a lot of feedback about that box art. Generally, if you have been a part of any discussions involving artificial intelligence, generative AI, art, things like that, the discussions went about how you would expect. There was a very loud, vocal, substantial minority, if not majority, saying, this is not the direction we would like to see this go. We don't want people using AI art, working on this stuff. Please redo the art. Is this a sign of the end times? Is there anybody left with a soul at Avalon Hill? Did they all get laid off? Pretty much, pretty standard, pretty predictable. I was one of the people who was like, we got to do better than this, right? It's so obviously AI. Then the response to that criticism that came directly from Hasbro, Avalon Hill, surprisingly enough, didn't expect there to be a response at all, but there was a response. Said something to the tune of, we've heard some rumblings that you guys are concerned the art was created using AI. We're happy to report that real humans worked on it. And that was it. They did link the artist, and the artist had his portfolios and his history out there on the internet for all to see. Unfortunately, that was kind of like throwing gasoline onto a fire, because a lot of people looked into the artist and determined that he does indeed use AI to assist him with creating artworks, even though he doesn't need to, because he's been a professional illustrator for something like 30 years. Humans use AI. Yes, we know this, Hasbro. And so we have a new cover. That was not announced. That was not answered, teased. Avalon Hill went really hard into the Talisman promotions after that, just kind of like, let's put this behind us. Got into a bit of a discussion, sort of discussion, with Kurgan and a former member of Avalon Hill, and another couple of members in a Discord chat. There was a little bit of a discussion going on about, hey, this isn't what you think it is. Don't worry about it. And now it's come to light that there's a completely different box. There's no mention about what happened. It's not the same artist. This was confirmed evidently by Ribby, who was on site at GenCon asking about the contents and various other pieces of info. Hopefully, all the questions that we asked him to pass on for us. Just want to get a couple of good shots here, give you all something to look at other than my chattering face while I prattle on. This is canonically the underside of the HeroQuest board, which is a 6-fold board that comes with First Light. And First Light is confirmed a new starter set, a new game system for people who don't have the game at this point, who would like something new. But it is tailored to be sold to new players, as well as have something in it in case a veteran player wants to buy it as well. And I think that's a really smart move, because Avalon Hill knows that a lot of people who already have the game are really trying to collect everything too. We've got adventure design kit updates here, not just with the old style board, which is still the other half, the other side of that lovely original board, but also this new board, which is completely symmetrical if you view it along this vertical axis. And yeah, look at that. Snuck a picture right under the table, right under the glass display to get that. And come on. Let's get that top box art. We're gonna have to go to the very top, aren't we? Yeah, let's go to the very top of the disc. It's been a very busy day, guys. This started yesterday. Here we go. These are the original pictures taken by Mantic Gaming, I believe, the gentleman responsible for Mantic. And he took a picture of the Jungles of Delthrak presentation above, as well as this First Light presentation right underneath. And we can see that the standees are indeed cardboard. They are on clear discs to hold them up. We've got the original dice with the new set, the new original dice, basically. They look pretty standard. We have the box art, heads and tails above. No confirmation yet if it is also AI generated. Not that there was confirmation on the old box art, but we don't get a good enough look at this just yet to really make any determinations. Mentor, I'm pretty doubtful about that Mentor illustration. I see the braids and the mustache first thing, and I think, that's a pretty common tell. Don't like that, but I'm not here to complain about that stuff. If I do complain about anything, it is the movement dice, which are white with red pips. Apparently, Doug Hopkins has reported that that's the final version of the dice. That is really saddening. I want my red movement dice, guys. I want my red dice. We have 4 heroes, new sculpts for the heroes. They're not the mythic tier versions of the sculpts. They are 4 brand new sculpts for the heroes, and they match the genders of the heroes presented on the front of the box this time, just like the original game system. And our wizard has facial hair. I guess I could look at those pictures really quick. There's so much to talk about, and we're going to open up the fireside chat here in just a second. After we talk about it, here are the close-ups of the sculpts. Our dwarf looking a little stiff, but his axe is considerably shrunk, so it's more like a hand axe. The elf coming forward in a ready-to-fight position. The barbarian with a very, very accusatory finger point. We're going to get you. And the wizard, bit of a fire spell perhaps in his hand. You could color that however you wanted. It doesn't have to be fire. Facial hair on this unit, and notably comes with a dragon miniature that is also 3D. This is not Venom from Crypt of Perpetual Darkness. This is a different dragon. It's just called Dragon, and it has a different set of stats and abilities. So with that all said, the only things left to really talk about and introduce before we get into other things is that the furniture is all going to be 2D tiles. We'll check on chat really quick. Check on the chat really quick. Rolling over here. Barb does look like Techno Viking. It's pretty much Sergeant House popularizing that. Much rejoicing. Wonder how thick the board is. I hope the board's thicker than it appears right in the photos, because it looks like it's been folded and unfolded several times. It's got those telltale signs of creasing along the sides, but I do really like the board regardless. I do think that the board's going to be reused in future expansions. I think this is the new standard. I don't think that future expansions are going to ignore it. Just my take on it. It's going to be completely, perfectly compatible with all old expansions due to the inclusion of the classic board style on the top side. But I believe the new First Light game system board is going to be implemented as well. And then, sorry, but it looks a bit cheap. It is cheap. It is made to be affordable. It is made to be more accessible. And this means not only bringing in new customers, but being able to sell it to new stores, which has the added effect of new customers. Being able to bring it to new stores that have limited shelf space and who probably have windows of price points that they order between. Love the look of most, but the Game Master screen, even if not AI, too big of a face looking at the players. Yeah, that's an artistic choice I don't agree with, but I understand some people like it, and I'm not going to knock them for it. Fat dragon. Yeah, it's a pretty big dragon. It is supposed to be cheap. Yep. Let's see. What else? And saturation color of the board. Okay. All right. Back to it. The saturation of the color on the board, I agree with that. I really like it. And everything else about this looks like it's pretty much going to be the same fare, standard HeroQuest stuff that we all know and love, because it is meant to be completely compatible with all of the existing expansions. So it has all the base game materials. They are in a different form. Not a whole lot of new stuff as far as we can see, except the quest book, which has 10 brand new quests. I heard somebody start a rumor that Cassandra is making a return. Our beloved Dread Queen Cassandra. Lovely art, hopefully not AI on the front of the box. If it is AI, which I'll always be taking a really close look at this stuff now. And I know there's going to be folks, just like there is on the Facebook, the old in forums, that are like, oh, everybody's an art expert now. No. Just say you don't know what the tells are like. Just say you don't know. It's fine to not know. You can learn this, but it is easy to tell if you know what to spot. But if it is, I will say that the elf is holding the sword correctly. The shield looks a lot better so far. Don't know what the design is on the shield, but it looks like the same design that's on the mini. The barbarian's musculature looks much more natural and illustrated rather than bump after ripple of nonsense. We've got stuff that makes sense down here with the fur cuff going into the hand. I think that if it were AI, which I'm not saying it is, I'm not inclined to believe it is at this point. I think it's too difficult to tell, and it doesn't really matter too much just yet. But if it were, the artists involved would definitely had to have taken heavy consideration into all of the critiques that were publicized. So, with that all said, we're going to join the podcast interview fireside. Voices connected. If somebody joins who has the role, they'll be live right here on the channel, checking stuff out with me, and we'll be checking out pictures. I see Jay Blackstone. Hello, Jay.
Hello.
Hi. Quick feedback from people out and about listening in. Can you hear the guest? Jay, if you just want to give a hello introduction, something like that, something for people to hear.
Came up garbled. Can you please repeat that?
If you want to introduce yourself so people can hear you, or let me know at least if they can hear you on the stream.
Yeah, let's do that. Can you guys hear me okay?
Very quiet. Okay, that's something I can fix. That's fine. Let's see here. We will fix that. That's not on your end. That's going to be on my end. If you want to, really quick, say a few words. What are your thoughts on the presentation for First Light at GenCon? You're not there, right? You're not physically in Indianapolis.
No, I'm not there. My initial thoughts is since day one I was very excited because this is something that was desperately needed to get the new players and new fresh how can I say blood into this game, and that's what I think it was missing.
Agreed. I have turned up the volume also.
All right, can you guys hear me better?
Looks like better so far, but I made another adjustment. Made him even louder. Even louder.
Looks like I lost connection with you.
Uh-oh. I can hear you loud and clear. Perfect. Perfect. A bit better. Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it. That's good feedback, guys. That's going to help me out a lot for future stuff. Thank you.
There we go. Testing.
Volume good for several people. That's
awesome.
Perfect. Perfect. Anyways, welcome to the stream. It's my first it's your first time on the broadcast. This isn't really a proper broadcast. It is a live stream, but it's not going to be syndicated onto the platforms like everything else. It can't be because it's video. I don't know if you don't mind, I might grab the audio off of it and throw it up on the RSS and make it into a broadcast.
Sure, you have my permission. It's all good.
Thank you. I might do that. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was saying that when I first heard it come out, I was very excited because this is something that we desperately need to get the new people to come out. You know, fresh new players, just to get this game reintegrated, or I can't say the word, but just pretty much just get new blood into this game.
Do you think that this will do it? Do you think that it'll be mostly sold to vets who are just collecting and it won't, or do you think the price point will really attract a lot of people?
Well, I did the math here, and like I said, I could be wrong because, like I said, they could change it at any time, but you're saving roughly about $85 if you compare it to the core set.
Okay. And do you have a friendly local game store that you go to frequently or semi-frequently and check out their stuff?
No, not really. The place that I recently moved, I moved into Chicago, so I'm hoping going to start up my own HeroQuest game over there at the Dice Dojo, I believe.
That's cool. I'm sure that you will find a lot of players in Chicago. I'm actually pretty confident that should be a pretty accessible place to find players.
Oh yeah.
We have a new dungeon to explore. Folks out there in the chat, as well as you, Mr. Blackstone, do you think that that's going to be implemented in future expansions?
I'm going to say yes, because it seems like every expansion that we're seeing, they always throw in something like a little bit of a play test. And then we'll see that previous expansion testing going over to the new expansion.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I like that. Any commentary on the art style here used, the presentation rather of the art used on the standees for the minis? Do you like the doors? Are we happy with these clear bases? Does this really mean anything? Does it not matter at all? Is it just standard fare, shut up and game?
That's more of a personal opinion to many people. Some people might like it, some people don't like it. Me personally, I like it. I mean, it's simple, it's easy, and it looks like very kid-friendly too.
I agree with that. The cardboard minis, I'm definitely getting this. As soon as I can get my hands on it, it's going to get the full unbox treatment and all of that stuff. But I'm particularly interested in using the 6-fold board and the dragon mini and card, and probably the hero minis, at least the wizard and the elf. I really like them. As long as the quality of the mini is comparable to what we have, as long as the quality of the minis as far as like the plastic and the construction is concerned. The cardboard furniture, I'm probably not going to carry over into my main games because I really love the 3D furniture. But I want to use these, so I think that I would like to use them in other games. And then I think the standees I could probably leave in the box.
Probably buy this box to replace my Mythic tier. Sort of like keep that condition, Mythic tier condition, and take this box and sort of like substitute it.
Making a quick change on the Discord. I think that's a good use for it. I'm one of the ones that it's not a good quality to have, and I don't want to be perceived as like elitist or anything. But I'm one of those where like if I'm using 3D miniatures, I want everybody to be a 3D miniature. And if I'm using 3D furniture, I'd really like if everybody was 3D furniture. Like the expansions, even in the classic version of the game, the expansions had tiles that represented new pieces of furniture. And first chance I get to get a 3D, even a 3D printed version of that, I will use the 3D printed furniture. The Dwarven Forge, that deserves to be 3D. Just in my opinion.
No, I agree with you on that one too. And I think someone also in the YouTube chat brought up a good point. The furniture tiles actually does help reduce the crowding of the board.
That's not a bad point. That's a pretty good take. The crowding is something that I think they could have maybe tried a little bit more to get away from, but it happens, and it happens pretty quick. Your Dread Warriors and your Abominations are very big. They like to grandstand. They like to throw their hands out, their arms. What up, bro? So they crowd the board pretty quick. So having them on standees now, that's really going to help with that. They don't seem to encroach too much beyond their standee. There are a couple that still kind of get big. Let's go up and look at the gargoyle again. Oh, and just a quick, just pointing out here, Doug Hopkins of the Avalon Hill staff running the game with none other than Ribby and Kurgan, who are two of the very lucky folks that get to play this inaugural game of First Light. Kurgan rocking his mentor / Zargon, mustache, beard, and hair. This is really an epic prop. And fanny pack. The dragon.
You gotta rock the magical bag of holding mini pack there.
Got to. Ribby and Doug Hopkins. Awesome photos. Love that. Going to the minis. Yeah, they go out just a little bit, but they're not terrible by any means. Having a mini encroach on another space in 2D is much less intrusive and much less of an obstruction than the miniature encroaching the space in 3 dimensions, if that makes sense.
No, it does. But then again, like I said, it's just mostly for people, for both new and vets, to customize and have their own tastes and how they want to play the game. So just having those two options, I think, is great.
Yeah, having the options there is great. It makes somebody like me really. If I start playing with the flats, I'll really want more flat models. I'll be like, yeah, where are my cardboard assassins? But I tell you, the methods to make your own would not be particularly challenging. It looks like it's just official card art. I have a weird GIF image of a person licking a boot for anybody who can't see that very well. It turns out that the new board has the missing boot on the tile in the corridor from the classic edition, something that a lot of folks were rightly outraged about the absence of in the new edition. So very excited about the boot. So I apologize for the licking boot GIF in my search, or GIF as Ribby would pronounce it. We'll go ahead and rest on this image of the dice, which have this lovely bone color, off-white. Really like that. While I look at some comments. Go for it.
And to see, like, at first glance, like, I was seeing this on my phone, I assumed it looked like one of those same texture and color for glow in the dark.
Ooh. I don't know. I've definitely seen this material before. This looks a lot more like, I want to say dominoes or backgammon pieces, but they're still engraved. They didn't cheap out on the dice. I may not like the white dice with red pips because I'm a red die purist, but they didn't cheap out on them. They still look good. They still look good.
Oh yeah, like I was kind of slightly upset with the color change there, but according to Ribby, he said that other than the movement dice, those dice are not finaled, if he assumed correctly.
Yeah, I saw that comment. It'd be interesting to see what all has yet another change, if this is just like a production, or if this is not a production model, what little changes will be made yet. There may be some change to a material here and there. Maybe the dragon will come out a lot more light green or perhaps darker green, or it could be sparkly. Some comments. Flat furniture, okay, yep. If there are rules for searching furniture, I'm thinking about putting the cardboard furniture under the mini and then removing the cardboard once that furniture has been searched. That's smart. I like that. I like that use. Way to think about using everything at once. I like that. A bit of a downer, the 2D furniture, considering how inexpensive and simple the OG HeroQuest furniture was. Well, there might be other reasons why we don't get the additional furniture. There might be art contracts that are up or something. I mean, I don't really think that's the case. I'm not trying to push for that being a case, but who knows? Who knows? Maybe they just looked at cardboard printing and they were like, yeah, we can do this. I'm going to use the cardboard furniture for HeroQuest somehow. I'm going to match them up and make a total video. Will it HeroQuest? It'll be a lot of fun. For me, anyway. I don't know if it'll be fun for viewers.
It's always fun when I watch it.
Had hoped on old way cardboard furniture. Rudolph says, I kind of agree with that. Furniture mixed with plastic. Cardboard furniture that you fold and fit into plastic bits. That would have been fun. HeroQuest is minis. It helps in the immersion. No standees, in my opinion. Rex, I agree with you. I do think this will be a lot of people's first time HeroQuest, or at least that seems to be the intention. So, I mean, if they can get onto the HeroQuest train and we can start the next 30 years of HeroQuest homebrewers, I guess I have to be on board. N Black, I don't see a flask of whiskey next to Ribby. Fake. You're probably right. That probably is an AI generated Ribby. So I'll have to keep an eye on that. Are the green dice a thing? Says Anima. Yes, the green dice are the Jungles of Delthrak dice that they are handing out for free with every purchase at GenCon. If I can get to a picture of them. Here we go. This is Ribby's hand. As we now know, it may be an AI-generated hand. Look at their blister, though, that he got from rolling dice so hard. The green dice are a thing. They're selling them in a pack of 6 after this convention, after they give away all the ones that they have while supplies last. And they'll be selling them on Pulse. This was confirmed by a booth employee. It may have been Doug Hopkins himself at GenCon, so take it with a grain of salt. This die here next to it is from Talisman, from their Talisman Alliances expansion. So not necessarily HeroQuest related, but something else that's really exciting to see at the booth there at GenCon, at the Avalon Hill booth. I'll be getting 1 copy just for the collection, says Matthew Fairweather. You can make the 2D minis out of the way of encroachment much easier than a 3D mini. Correct. Mars Anonymous, welcome. The new board looks amazing. Interesting, rather, but again, it has too many 1-tile wide corridors. Well, to make it compatible with the expansions, it had to be that way. Or unless you mean the underside, in which case, yeah, I could see the potential for double wide corridors being there and it not being utilized. So I kind of feel oh darn light disappointment there. I'd like to see a lot of double wide corridors. At that point, though, without the crowding, without the corridors and heroes being squeezed in, it does become a slightly different dynamic of a game. Disciple 12 says, I should be getting League of Dungeoneers hopefully soon. The standees, and this remind me of the standees for that game. Might have to throw more Dread Warriors into LOD when I get that. Agreed. I'm also getting League of Dungeoneers. That's a great take. Forgot about that game's 2D standee flavor. Maybe I could throw the 2D furniture from this into that game as well. What is HeroQuest if not a tool to merge with other games as well? Anyone have an idea of the quality of the new board? That'll be, yeah, people at GenCon will have the best take. Happy Fridays. Hi, Happy Fridays. Welcome to the stream. I recognize Happy from the complete reveal of stuff from the UK Games Expo. Really cool to see him there. And here, I like the theory that the Barbarian is holding a gun. No, I feel the Elf and the Wizard minis got upgraded while Barbarian and Dwarf got downgraded, but would need to see them closer, mainly the pose. You're not the only one who feels that way. So please show the Gargoyle, says Jean-Luc Gatto. I will go check that out here in just a second. New board equals new third-party neoprene mats. That's correct. We're going to see that too. And I have no problem with that whatsoever. I'll immediately be getting neoprene mats, probably from my friend Ian Schofield, who does beautiful dungeon mats. Just gonna shout him out really quick. Those dice in Ruby's hand are different. Those, I think, are given to those playing at the game tables. The green dice with Jungles of Delthrak are a different set of dice. Really? I don't know. I think that they just look darker because they're inside of a box. I bet that they're the same dice, although it was mentioned last year that the dice that were handed out were just like defective dice from the Frozen Horror, probably during a material change or something. And then they sold the official dice, but I don't wonder, or I do wonder rather, damn this Midwestern way of talking. I wonder if that was just a way of backtracking because people were immediately like, why are you making it exclusive? We want it too. And they're like, no, but they're just defects. They're just, okay, fine. So I think this was intentionally made, but I think that they're the same dice. You agree with that?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. They're the exact same dice, but people forget those lights at GenCon are bright as heck. So
yeah, and these lights in particular are bouncing off of Kurgan's silvery facial hair and just making everything even brighter. So,
and you are correct. He has aged pretty well.
Oh yeah, he's eternal. I don't know, those do look really green, but I mean, there could be some green artwork behind them that is causing that effect to happen as well. Once they're taken out of the box, they may have that yellowish tinge under the right lighting. So, something else pointed out, I can't remember who posted this on the Old Inn on the Facebook group. This is a rewording of the Courage card. So it looks like there's going to be some stuff that was reworded for better clarification, better in quotation marks. Courage has been played like this by a lot of players, but there are a lot of other players like myself who interpreted it differently. And so this spell may be cast on any one hero in your line of sight, including yourself. The next time that hero attacks, they roll 2 additional attack dice. The spell ends after this attack or the moment that hero has no monster in their line of sight. This spell may be cast once per quest. What they added was that the spell ends after this attack or the moment that hero has no monster in their line of sight. And there were a minority, just a teensy amount of people who were like, well, we won't count the time before the spell is used. The effects of the spell are used to end it. But I think that that's not the correct interpretation. I just think that it's a valid one. And I like using it like that. Like you're behind the door, you want your barbarian to be amped up, or maybe the barbarian's dead and you want the dwarf or the elf to be amped up, so you cast Courage on them, but you haven't opened the door yet. When they open the door, they should be like bursting in, just rah, not wah. That's that's proprietary, but rah, and they burst in there and they get their extra attack dice, and that is probably for the vast majority of players, it's not played like that. As soon as you cast it on them, if there's no monsters, the spell just immediately ends because that's the condition. No, the hero has no monster in their line of sight, and the spell is just cast the once per quest. You burst in there and it's like, rah, oh God, you're bigger than I thought you'd be. Somebody wanted to see the gargoyle, so I'm going to go zoom in on the gargoyle. And yeah, thoughts up to this point. Jay, anything you want to add? The floor is yours.
Ooh, man, that's a good one. I do like a lot of updates they're doing here. I know they're going to rework a lot of rules from what I hear. So that's a good bonus.
I'd be interested to see that quest book and see exactly what kinds of rules. So, somebody mentioned that the art is taken from the app, and that the art for the standees, rather, taken directly from the app. And they also mentioned this might be the board graphic that is used in the app, and these might be the furniture pieces that are used in the app, which would mean that the production for this it should have been silky smooth. Just translate the images onto printing material and go. And if that's the case, I commend them for using the resources that they have intelligently. I like that. It does seem to be the art, though, definitely. The art for the cards is highly detailed, and then the art for the standees, it does look like it's taken from the app art, which is like slightly, I don't know how to describe it. It's the same poses, it's the same mostly everything, but it's like scaled down, blown back up, lighting changed. But the plus about this, the good thing about this, is that now we have female versions, artwork of the female versions of the monsters also to use. So we're not losing any of the accessibility here. Well, I don't know. I see 3 skeletons that look the exact same, and there's at least a different pose of skeleton for the female variant. Not sure if it is supposed to be a female skeleton, but... And then our orcs, I can see a female orc. There's Rosa right back there, Rosa Teeth. And it's really hard to see the gargoyle from the pictures in the Discord unless somebody's got a better one. But the upper left right here, I'll go ahead and zoom in on this for you. I'll zoom in on this. I'll just really blow up this screen. I'm not going to be able to do it too much because there are limitations with what I can change in OBS. As soon as it goes off the border, I'm going to transition. Pew! Right here is the standee for the gargoyle. Looks pretty good. I mean, it's unmistakably the 2021 gargoyle. I'm gonna look at
Actually,
some... Go ahead.
Actually, I just pulled up the app, and apparently the pictures and the furniture exactly is the same artwork from the app.
Yeah, fantastic. Like I said, great use of their assets, great use of their time. They're just using what's already there. Good move. Good move.
Oh yeah, I think that was a great move.
So it looks like somebody else did play it the way that I used to play it as a kid and as an adult. Revenant. Oh, courage is 1 turn only? Yeah. Look, the new card definitely words it that way to where it's not ambiguous anymore. But I would say if you want to sneak in your courage card from the other game, go for it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, because that's how I played it too.
I really like the idea of courage lasting until that particular character has just wasted every monster, at least until the party's taken out every monster in the room, and then retiring it. Not just because of the confusion of the wording or different takes or anything like that. I just think it's a waste of the wizard's turn to cast that if it's just going to last 1 turn, because it's not even an attack. Unless the wizard casts it on himself and then the heroes crowd around him so that he can't be attacked by the monsters in the room, because I don't know, I just strategically it doesn't feel like a good spell. It feels like a waste of a turn. Charles B. Hamlin, welcome to the stream. Curious for y'all's take on the dwarf's default weapon being hand axe in First Light. I got no problem with that. Do we have confirmation that that's the case? I know the sculpt has an axe. I mean, the sculpt always has a hand axe. But can we see that on the hero cards posted in the Discord?
No, they're using the old hero or the hero cards.
Okay. So I wonder, here they are. Starting weapon, hand axe. Starting weapon, hand axe. Rather than short sword. I don't have a problem with it. That's fine. It makes sense. The elf has a short sword. The wizard has a dagger. Always thought the wizard should get a staff, but whatever. The barbarian's got the broadsword. The dwarf should have a hand axe. It doesn't really change anything other than the dwarf can now throw his weapon if he wants to. And I mean, that makes him mechanically different from the elf starting out in yet another way.
Yeah, isn't it the short sword and hand axe the same combat dice, pretty much?
I'm pretty sure they are. I'm pretty confident they are. Just you can throw the hand axe, and you can't throw the sword, which I don't understand why not. Throw your sword. I mean, don't. That's a terrible idea.
I mean, you could throw it, but there's no guarantee you're going to get it back.
Oh, yeah, you won't get it back. We've got some more pictures posted from Shar. Oh, I can go ahead and shrink this back down now. Sorry, guys. Give me just a second. I'll fix that. I'll fix that by clicking on the correct thing in the correct monitor.
Okay, it looks like Revenant has confirmed that.
My friends were not happy with me during one of our games, says Disciple 12. They cast courage but couldn't make it to the enemies, so the enemies went around a corner. Yep. I mean, that's valid. I support that move as Zargon. It is evil. Hey, Ash, did you guys mention the new rat tokens? Oh, yeah. Uber Dark Knight, welcome to the stream, and thank you for joining. And thank you for the observation. There are new tokens that represent the rats. The rats were previously represented by tiny little miniatures, and they had no function whatsoever except to stick onto the furniture and glue them on. Some of the quests in some of the expansions did use the rats, though, as their own thing. The designers of the quest were like, let's put those rats to use. Well, the rats have tokens now, which is pretty interesting. And I don't think it's just so we can place the tokens on the furniture. I'm pretty certain that they are used mechanically in First Light. I don't know how.
You think it's going to be the same thing as the swarm mechanic?
I don't know. I don't know if it'll reintroduce swarm. I don't see swarm on any of the cards as attributes, but I mean, I'm not counting it out. There might be a spawn point. I think rats is a great swarm enemy. I'm kind of like, now that I'm thinking about it and talking about it, I'm kind of sad that it wasn't made a swarm enemy to begin with. Reset these current properties to their defaults.
Yeah, but you know homebrewers are gonna fix that.
Yeah, as well we should expect. Here we go. Now I can work on zooming this in. This is a very dumb process because I'm a noob at OBS. One of these days, however, I will not be a noob. I will be a professional, a true professional. Okay, we're gonna center that. Transition. There we go.
There we go.
Would the new interpretation of courage work on all the whirlwind attacks of the Berserker, or just the first hit it connects with in it? Wow.
Wow.
That's one attack. That's not several actions. It's just one continuous attack. So I would rule that it works with it. And I think
that's a lot of dice.
I don't think anybody would argue with that. I think that most people would allow that. But that is not a waste of the barbarian of the wizard's turn. Bringing courage along and casting it on the Berserker is a top tier idea. Genius. Excellent work there, Walter.
Brilliant idea.
With that spell altered, the wizard gets a bit weaker again. Yeah, yeah, he does. He does. Lost one throne. Yep. Want to show off the board sides, the alt art. Yeah, I'll get to that. Hoping alchemy rule becomes part of core rules. I don't see it because I think they would have put the alchemy cards on the table if that were the case. And I don't think they're going to have us rolling on tables because they don't seem to like us doing that. So I don't think that's going to be it.
No, I think they want to keep things very simple.
All right. So we're going to go to the picture, the alternate side of the board. We've been looking at this on and off again throughout the stream. I got different angles of it, but I mean, if people are just joining, of course, we got 4 pictures kindly provided by Ribby. Here's one angle. Oh, these creases right here. That's a little bit, oh no, but you know, this is seeing heavy convention use, so maybe that's the only reason why we see these creases. And we have a brand new logo on the side of the board. And this logo is also used in the quest book to make sure that you know how to orient the board so that you can make sure you don't build the quest upside down or anything like that. So I thought that was a pretty cool addition. But you'll notice, as mentioned earlier, all of the rooms here are aligned perfectly along one axis, so it's symmetrical. And Amia the Smole said in chat earlier, it's amusing that it's the cave side that's symmetrical and not the dungeon side, the castle side, because with something like a cave, you're never going to find a symmetrical cave in real life, but of course we build things with symmetry if they're man-made. So here's another angle of the board. We have some corridors that actually end in dead ends, and that's surprising to me. I never would have thought that they would make a creative choice to end a corridor in a dead end. There's going to be people that pop up, I don't know, here and there as I make comments on this stuff saying, hey, it's not that deep. I commented on one of the posts saying, wow, we have a new canonical board size. And I'm not shaming anybody. I don't want anybody to call anybody out, anything like that. But somebody commented back and they're like, canonical, it's not that deep. It's HeroQuest. Dude, I know. It's all fun and games. But we like to pretend that it's deep. And we like to talk about it like it's deep because it's fun. We have fond memories of this stuff. And we're having good times with it now. And I'm just having a good time observing everything. So yeah, if I'm going to talk about this like it's super deep. I'm going to talk about the game design convention and how successful that helps make the product. And we have some more dead ends here as well, down here on the small 3x4 rooms near the bottom. These corridors do not connect. That's artwork. It's not tiles. So it stops right there, interestingly enough.
And we don't know if this is going to be just a prototype or the final product.
Yeah, that's a good point too. We don't. This could be subject to change. Not like this is what they had in the printers already, but maybe they brought the thinner material to the convention, knowing that it was going to get beat up quite a bit, and maybe there are still things here and there that they're able to take feedback on for last-minute changes, because I think our release date just got pushed back too, right?
Yeah, because if this was a final product, they would have automatically opened up the Hasbro Pulse ordering system by now.
Treasure chest on the dead end tile guarded by a gargoyle. Yes, please. Looks like a poster. Not quite that thin. It's board like. It's not quite poster thin. So much.
I'm thinking it's going to be like. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you.
Go for it.
I think it's going to be probably between 2 to 3 centimeters thick.
2 to 3 centimeters. 2 to 3 millimeters.
Millimeters, yes. Sorry.
I see Free Wata has made it into the stream. Welcome, good sir, Knight Free Wata. Long time no see. Well, I mean, outside of Discord. Welcome. Good to have you here. Hope you're staying hydrated. Using bombs on the other miniature people. Nice, nice. I better quit saying that or I'm going to get demonetized. So much for secret doors leading to another room for most of the board anyway. That's a valid take, but we're still going to have block tiles. And one of the things I wasn't looking forward to about board configurations like this, and just the one con that I have about board configurations like this, is that you don't have a lot of rooms that are nested together, so you don't have a lot of room-to-room energy. You have room to corridor, and you have a lot of corridor energy. And those are different dungeon crawling experiences. But yeah, having a secret door lead out of a room into another room, that's one thing. But you can still take our single tile corridor block tiles and place them down on the board in such a way that as soon as you look for a secret door, it opens up and it's just in between those two rock tiles, and there's a valid door on the other side that you wouldn't be able to see from outside the block tiles. Of course, by putting block tiles down on the board in line of sight of the players whenever they go around that section of rooms, it might clue them in that there's something there, and if they're looking for secret doors on the outside of these rooms and not finding them, that might clue them in on where they need to look for secret doors. So I mean that's its own thing. Yeah, that's subject to your play style. Your mileage may vary. I can see still a lot of interesting ways to use this, and this doesn't stop you from using any of the room tiles from the expansions. You can set room tiles all over this thing and make a really crazy dungeon.
Yeah, your imagination could go wild over this.
Falling rock traps. Oh yeah. Yeah, naturally falling rock traps in the cave section. Rudolph, not that serious. How dare they? Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the support. The boss battle arena is a great addition. Yes. So it's not. We did the measuring. This isn't the same amount of tiles as the ogre arena. I think this is 7 by 9, right? And the ogre arena is 8 by 9. And these rooms on the sides are not the same size rooms. Those are,
I think those are 4x4s, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. So you guys with your Imperial yes, darn it. This is a great stream. Thank you, Rex. Jarl, welcome to the stream. Smart way to sell a few new sculpts for $50. Marketing genius. It's not just a few new sculpts. We got some interesting stuff. We have a new quest book, and we have a new board. And there were a lot of people who were like, "Will the new version come with a new board?" And then once we learned about the price point and then like more about the intention and stuff, it was less about, oh well, it's probably not going to come with a new board then because it's got to be compatible with all the expansions. But this is a lovely surprise. A lot of the expansions we get are, I don't know, $45, unless they're on sale or unless they're the smaller box variety. So 45, and then when you consider this is a game system, it comes with everything you need to play. It's not just an expansion. The $50 price point, it seems fair to me. But I mean, if you're of the mind that this doesn't have enough to sell you on it, that's fine. It makes sense. It's priced to be either or, I think. Mars Anonymous says they're still limited to 26 by 19 tiles, so the rooms can't be that large. So on the plus side, you can use that and the normal board side by side without a problem. Yeah, if you have multiple boards, you can do that. I would love to see canonical quests made with both board sides, or perhaps, and this is crazy, I wonder if they'll have any quests that show this board but with one of the sides flipped in. And I don't really think that they'll do that because that'll actually create a lot of opened rooms. So maybe never mind. Just strike that from the record. I didn't say that.
Or it could be used for like if you accidentally go into a chaotic dimension.
Nothing wrong with homebrewing it like that. Yeah, no, that'd be fine. You have to use a lot of one block by one by one tiles to block off stuff like open rooms and stuff. Please remember to like the stream. Thank you, Shar. Yes, please remember to like the stream. The channel's been growing. It's not been consistently growing, but, well, I should start over. I've been getting a really nice linear growth, but with the posting of that dang $10 miniature video, the channel got a stupid boost. Just absolute dumb amount of subscriptions and views just from that video. So hopefully things continue to go that direction. But yeah, like that stream. I hate the spiky walls take up squares in the rooms. They don't have to. They do visually look like they would. And I say it can look messy. Yeah, no, I get that for sure. But they don't.
I agree with it.
They don't have to take up those squares. You could still put minis and furniture and stuff there and just put it on top of the rocks. The walls are nice and defined, so furniture and treasure chests and monsters will cover up that stuff. It'd be all right.
It's also a lot of suspension of disbelief, pretty much. You know, it's just there.
Yeah. I have a personal taste when it comes to boards. The Loki Quest, they're just Loki. I call them Loki Quest because I make HeroQuest quests with the Loki mats. But the Loki battle mats I really like because they put a lot of stuff there for you, but they don't put dressing, really. They don't put a lot of, okay, this square absolutely contains, the equipment of a fallen warrior. Or there are definitely barrels here. I mean, there's some of that, but the graphics aren't baked in. And I like that because it helps you with that immersion whenever you're making a new quest and that suspension of disbelief.
No, I agree with you. Yeah, like I'm like almost the same way too, because sometimes when you're playing with your players and you see an object on there, like, oh, is that part of the game? Is that part not part of the game? So it does get a little frustrating.
Civil War asks, is the board double-sided or is it a different layout than the base game entirely? This is a double-sided board. For those of you just joining the chat, this is the opposite side of the normal convention game board. On the other side of this, when you flip it over, is our tried and true HeroQuest map. So just another look at that. It is using new artwork. We got brand new artwork, but it is the same configuration of rooms. Everything else is the same. You're still going to have your center room, your 4 quadrants. They are distributing an adventure design kit at GenCon. I don't think we'll see this in the box, but this is super cool to see them supporting their new board design with design materials. Go ahead, Che.
Oh, no, I hit the button by accident. Go
ahead. So we have 2 adventure design kits now, one to support the old board, the normal, the standard, and now one to support the cave system board. Somebody saw this before they saw the board at all, and they were like, wow, finally, we can have a town. And, I mean, I'd hate to be the person who's like, man, I'm looking forward to making cities with this, and then find out that it's all caves. But that doesn't necessarily stop you. You can make an underground town. It's fine.
Also, someone said that that layout, the bottom half where that big open area is, reminds them of that castle on Quest 10 in the original book.
Castle of Mystery?
Yeah.
I'm curious now. If that is, I would like to look that up. I'm curious to know if it's a 1-to-1. Like, I don't think it'll be exacting, but let's see. Sumo asks, will you be getting this for the new Hero Sculpts and Dragon? I'm going to get this for the Dragon. There are 2 of the Hero Sculpts I really like, and as long as the quality of the minis are good, I'll replace the minis that I have. Well, I might just add them in, whatever. I really want the board. So I'm probably going to take the board out, and then the furniture I'd love to use in other games. That's what I would do. So $50 for all that, and then I get to basically add it to my collection. Yeah, no, that's fine. And I'm super happy they changed the board art. I want to support that they listened. I'm in full 100% conviction mode that the feedback they received from folks speaking out against the I'm not gonna say supposed. I'm calling it AI art because I'm more than certain that's what it was without knowing the proof beyond a shadow of a doubt. But I'm more than confident that they took that feedback and they actively applied it quick, fast, and in a hurry to get this going. And there's some folks now speculating that might be the reason why there's now a bit of a pushback on the date. It's not coming exactly as soon as we wanted it to. By the way, guys, I don't want to play his video on this video. I don't want to deprecate it in any way or devalue it, but I do want to point people, I should have done this forever ago, to Ribby, who is on YouTube and runs a channel called Bourbon and Board Games, and he's at GenCon. His boots are on the ground now, and he was checking out this stuff. So his video at the first looks is there. It's animated. It's in person. You can see stuff that you might not be able to see very well in this. So go to Bourbon and Board Games and tell him that Ash sent you, and then without any context whatsoever, just type in all caps WAAAGH. Wow. Okay.
Also, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe to him if you do like his other videos.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of other stuff too. He's big on HeroQuest, and that's a series that I would like to see continue. So please go support it, so that we get more HeroQuest. The guy has invested a bit of money into cameras and a good setup, and he's got a good thing going. So I mean, but he's ready to take off like a rocket.
Oh yeah.
I hope the app gets updated to support First Light too. Yeah, I hope so too. The poor team working on the app, they've got to be absolutely overworked. They have so much to do. I hope that they're working on it all though. New board, new alt hero miniatures, new dragon, new gargoyle. We don't have a new gargoyle. I mean, we have the art from the app. So I mean, if you consider that new, then all the lovely monster art is definitely worth it for me as well. I don't know what I'm going to do with the standees. I'll figure something out though. Also heard the dice that come with the set are glow in the dark, but now I'm not sure if that's confirmed. Not confirmed. Something that we're observing and wondering about ourselves, but not confirmed glow in the dark. I wouldn't expect them to be glow in the dark. That does seem like it would be kind of out of left field, but it would be really cool. So I mean, if that's the case, what a surprise. I'll add them to my master set for sure.
Yeah, and let me just add, they said that it's still not confirmed, and this is all possibly a prototype, so we don't know yet.
Yeah. Good reminder on the disclaimer. Everything we're looking at is not 100% confirmed to be final. There could be small changes, there could be big changes, there could be swaths of changes. We're seeing doors that are printed onto these 2D cardboard pieces, and they're black, indicating they're open, but what lies beyond is a mystery. And we could very well see a return of the classic HeroQuest doors that you punch out and place into the gray standees that are open, that you can actually see through. We could see a return of the bases that used to hold all the doors. We could see several things that are different from this.
Yeah, exactly.
Just another shot of the four heroes and the HeroQuest logo along the side of the board, denoting the new era of HeroQuest, the First Light era. All right, back to looking for Castle of Mystery. Hope the hero cards get fitting pictures. I don't know that they'll change the pictures on the hero cards.
Well, that would be a nice perk.
It would be. I wouldn't be sad or argue with that at all. Rex says, I do like the transparent bases. Yeah, that it's new.
I'm not gonna lie, I do like the clear bases too.
Okay, there are actually a few pictures of the Castle of Mystery board. Here is the... Whoops, that links to a YouTube video. I could just go and get the book. I don't know why I'm not just taking the time. Too lazy, I guess. Come on, where is it? Here we go. The Old Inn. NES prototype. Image gallery. And they're all like original sizes. I'm just gonna go get the dang book. I'll one moment, please. Excuse me.
I'll try to keep him entertained. All right, so let's see here. Black says, I would love to know what does this like standees to 2 boxes over 500 standees from Dungeon. I need to find some more. That's... All right, so my opinion, I will definitely buy this box for just pretty much several personal reasons. One is to basically switch out some of my mythic items into more of a pristine condition, and then probably not use the standees, but use the current miniature monsters, the plastic monsters to this. But overall, I would definitely get this because I think this is going in the right direction, and hopefully we can see something like dual-style boards in the near future.
Thank you for sharing that. I agree. Hopefully they do. I want to see this opposite cave side used for quests. Definitely. This does give it more of like a Dragon Strike feel almost as well, because we've got different boards now, canonically. And that's a step in the right direction. There's nothing wrong with that. So Castle of Mystery, no, this won't be able to one-to-one translate Castle of Mystery. Castle of Mystery uses 3 3x5 rooms. We've only got 2 on this board. It uses the center room, which is a 5x6. And we don't have any 5x6s on this board. It uses 2 of the 4x4s. We do have those. And it uses 2 4x5s. We do have those. We'd be able to replicate those pretty easily. It uses 3 4x4s. We're actually missing a 4x4. And it uses a 2x3, and we don't have any of those on the board. So, no, it wouldn't use it wouldn't be able to run Castle of Mystery without heavy consideration for rearranging things. Not that it matters. Right, Castle of Mystery doesn't have a lot of stuff in it. There are rooms, and there are monsters in the rooms, but it's devoid of furniture. The only point is to get in there and wreck monsters and get out. So, I mean, you could play an alternate version of Castle of Mystery in here, and you could definitely make your own quests that are just like that. Portals everywhere. I just played Castle of Mystery on dungeon tiles of different sizes, and it worked fine. I believe it. Yeah, my opinion means nothing. It's just me talking. But like one-to-one, as far as one-to-one goes, and design convention, and quests matching the material in order to guide newer players who aren't used to this sort of thing and who don't have any idea about homebrew or anything like that yet, it would make sense to play it on the correct side of the board. What's the next rumored actual expansion after Jungles, if any? Man, jumping right into the heavy stuff. Rumors? I haven't heard any rumors. I've had a lot of people I've heard and I've supported the idea that the next expansion should be the Wizards of Morcar take. If they only do one more thing and then a meteor hit the offices of Avalon Hill and they had to close shop. If they could only do one more thing with HeroQuest, then the Wizards of Morcar should make a return, in my opinion. Because that's still inaccessible to a lot of people. That's still, you'd have to proxy it. You'd have to proxy the heck out of it. Anybody can go download the quest book. That's easy. But you'd have to proxy the miniatures unless you have the means to buy them. They're up there in price. More expensive than not at certain times of year. You're probably able to find 3D printed proxies, but depending on who's selling them, A, they might mark you up quite a bit. B, the quality might not be that good, especially if they're printing with FDM. And C, that's kind of supporting the bootlegging aspect of it all. Really, to each their own on that. That's not something that I like doing, so whatever. I don't 3D print my own Skaven. I go and I buy Skaven. I buy the actual plastic Skaven from Warhammer Quest and Advanced HeroQuest because I love that sculpt. I would really not want to 3D print my own Skaven. But that's just me. That's just me. Doesn't matter. Not saying anybody else can't do that. I'm not gatekeeping. It's just my preference. It's just what I would do. And unfortunately, I don't have a way to mass produce a bunch of HeroQuest bases, and I definitely don't want to disfigure a whole bunch of actual bases. So I do have a ton of 3D printed bases that I just ordered from that one seller from Spain. I won't name names, although I think it's Minis 3D. Lots of support for Wizards of Morcar. It was the first expansion in the EU where Morcar got spells. The dragon. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the dragon. Good call. Let's go talk about the dragon. The dragon.
You think this is going to be the final version, or you think they're going to improve it a bit?
That's a good question. So this dragon, it's behind the case. It looks to be a lovely dark green. I love this shade of green, at least the one the camera's picking up. I don't know if this is the final color. I don't even know if this is the accurate color of the miniature, but the color that I have on my screen right now that I am broadcasting, I love this particular green, this metallic sheen on it, this shininess, everything about it. I had a model of a ship that I think was a Romulan vessel from Star Trek The Next Generation, and I just happened to have paint that was very close to this shade of green, and I'd always loved how it looked. It's not quite Christmas ornament. It is darker, it is more metallic-y looking, and I really like it. So as far as color and material go, I love it. As far as double-sized base goes, love that idea. The dragon deserves to be big. The Venom Dragon from Crypt of Perpetual Darkness is 1x1. He's Shrimpy Boy. His sculpt is highly detailed. He looks really nice, but he's confined to his little pedestal, and it looks like he just woke up from a nap. This dragon is big. He's ready to go stomping. There seems to be more color on him than just the green. We've got a little splash of orange in between the wings, unless that is, I don't know, that could be a reflection of something. The materials.
That's transparent.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's transparent because you see it matches the same color to the table.
Let's check out it. I guess there's a little bit on this side too, on the wings. Is that coming up? Yeah.
I think Ribby holds it up to the lights, and you can see it like see through the wings.
Oh, okay. If he did that, oh well, yeah. Here we go. Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. Even if I'm not looking at this right, and it's shiny and not transparent, that's a really cool detail. But if that's transparency, that's really cool. No, I really like that. Who doesn't like the dragon and why? Speaking to you, chat. I'll read a couple of these. Space Dark Elves, that's what? I better go back up and look at context here.
No, the Ramans are not space dark elves.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I mean, I'm okay with that take. Vulcans are high elves.
There's only one thing I don't like about the dragon.
What?
I miss the old 2x2 round bases. I think that would have been perfect with this figure.
2x2, so you would have preferred him to take up a 4-tile base.
Yeah, 4-tile. Yeah, the same thing like the Frozen Horror.
Ribby and Kurgan have described it as silver. Okay, interesting. So more of a silver color than what the camera is showing.
Yeah, like I said, those lights at GenCon do play with the coloration of films or cameras.
Okay. Kind of like the chubby guy. Me too. I like how chonky he is. Just want them to add abilities to the Barbarian and Dwarf. Elf has new spells in one of the expansions, and I will assume they will add new stuff for the Wizard and the Wizards of Morcar. So I assume they would too, because they did in the classic version. The Wizard has all kinds of new spells. Spells of protection, spells of detection, spells of infection. I don't remember the third one right now. But he's got his own stuff. And the Barbarian and Dwarf, we all assume... No, I'm sorry. The Dwarf, we assume, would have had new abilities in his own expansion if that had been released. Wizards of Morcar gave the Wizard new stuff, but I don't know if the Wizard expansion that was going to be exclusive to the US would have given him new stuff. That detail's probably well documented and it's out there somewhere, but I don't remember reading about it. But I like the Explorer and the Berserker so much from Jungles of Delthrak. I don't think that the Barbarian and Dwarf now need to be tampered with at all. I think people can just homebrew the Explorer and Berserker skills onto them, and they'll translate wonderfully. And they'll make sense perfectly.
Sometimes I wonder if that's what Avalon Hill was planning, that you could switch the cards to the Barbarian and Dwarf.
Well, they did make a statement that they didn't want to mess with the Barbarian and Dwarf, and people were... But they still wanted to, and this isn't quoting them exactly, but the implication was there. They wanted to give people an answer to abilities for the remaining two heroes, because so many people homebrew that stuff. There's plenty of folks who are like, okay, Barbarian dumb, Barbarian get no skill, Barbarian go in and bonk and smash, and that's how Barbarian work. And other people are like, well, the Dwarf has the trap thing, so the Dwarf is fine. Dwarf doesn't need any other stuff going on. But tons of people did homebrew abilities for these guys, and for the Dwarf, it makes sense that it's treasure related. And for the Barbarian, a lot of people gave him the Whirlwind attack, which wasn't necessarily inspired by Warhammer, but if you use Deathblow in Warhammer, you absolutely were thinking, man, this would be a good ability for the Barbarian to have.
Indeed.
And no, I'm on board totally with them guys saying, here's your new heroes. I mean, here's your quote unquote new heroes. I do not like the dragon, says Rex. I don't like the pose. You don't like the I'm gonna get ya? I'm gonna get ya. That's fine. That's fine. Which dragon do you prefer, says Mocha? I like them both. I like them both for what they are. I I like Venom because of the detail on him and because of the aesthetic. I happen to really like that aesthetic of dragon. I like this version of a dragon as well. It is very much a I'm gonna fight you type of dragon. I kind of wish it had been on all fours rather than standing up. Uber Dark Knight says, I'm not sure why they're so opposed to having 4 square-sized miniatures since Frozen Horror. I think they just don't want anybody to beat the Frozen Horror. I think they want him to maintain the biggest, baddest bad boy status. I didn't mean for that to rhyme. Charles B. Hamlin, I can't look at the dragon without hearing him say boo. Yeah, no, I get it. Let's get another angle of him on the screen here. I like the shape of his head. There are so many different dragons out there, so many different styles and shapes and everything. I'm going to say I like the dragon's head. I like the placement of his horns. I like that he has multiple horns. I like his front horn on the nose here. I like the down pointy bits under the chin. I don't have a problem with that. He certainly does have a lot of interleavened plates here. And I like the scales in his tail a lot more than I like the plates on his neck and chest. So that's just one observation I have.
Yeah, I kind of like more of his side profile than his frontal.
We had a lot of comments on the dragon. Rex Sigmar agrees, 2x2 for me as well. Vindicator, welcome to the stream, says, I feel like the dragon should have been larger, 2x2 at least. Gary Hollingdale, welcome to the stream, says, I don't like the sculpt or base size. I wish the dragon from the Mythic tier had a bigger base. I wish that as well, and I famously have complained about that dragon not having more of a presence. The sculpt looks cheap, so does the base. Revenant says, not sure how I feel about if the dragon stands upright. I'm used to classic Wyvern and Dragon stance when they're on all fours. I will give you one comparison, okay? You talk about classic Dragon, but let me show you the classic, awesome, amazing Talisman / Warhammer Fantasy Battles Dragon. This particular dragon is on its hind legs. And it's, I'm sorry, I vastly prefer how this dragon looks to the dragon of the new edition, all dragons of all new editions, but that's just me. He's a bit silly, he's a bit crazy, but he's the 3rd edition. Essentially, this is almost the same sculpt as the 3rd edition Talisman Dragon. It's a smaller version of that dragon. It has the exact same wings, though, which is crazy that dragon is so huge and is not in a miniatures game. It's in a board game. But anyway, just wanted to point that out. It is standing on its hind legs. It kind of looks like it's rearing up for an attack, though, rather than always walking around on the hind legs. It kind of more looks like it wants to be on all fours and that it's only up to do some battle. So that's just my take there. But again, as Jay points out, it may not be final. It may not be the final.
And it got a nice lunging pose attack type of thing going on.
Quality of sculpts is something I'm worried about, says Rudolph. I from the pictures, they look like they're pretty much on par with what we've got now. I think because 9/10 of this is cardboard standees, I think they'll give the care that's necessary for the remaining sculpts. Saw a good post on HQ Fans stating the standees can be used for danger room stuff, so a Rogar's Hall experience would be a funny place to use them. Okay, that's good. So like using them as tokens, token monsters. You could put the swarm tiles on them.
Oh, that's a fantastic idea.
Yeah. You could throw up monsters that have different stats because they're weaker. They're just token monsters. You can do something like that.
Well, here's a fun idea. What if you take, like, let's say the table token, put it on a stand. It could be a mimic coming after you.
Yeah, there we go. Furniture. You could shove the furniture on the little standees. I'd kind of hate to damage it because, like, I know that type of standee base, and I know the kinds of marks it leaves on good-sized tile. So I don't know. That might be a good excuse to buy 2 First Lights. I don't know how many people are going to do that, but if it goes on clearance, I might do it. Then I could have 2 cave boards, 2 cave systems. Are they playing First Light at GenCon, or is it just for display? They're playing it. Doug Hopkins is running games. He ran a game with Kurgan and Ribby. I'm sure Kurgan's going to talk all about it. He may even have footage up about it, or pictures or something over at the Home of HeroQuest Fans Discord and or channel. No, I don't have a link, but you can search YouTube to get that. XSC3, Home of HeroQuest Fans. Gonna go ahead and shout him out. The new dragon looks too close to the gargoyle for me. You know, yeah, I can see where you're coming from there. But
it's almost the same silhouette.
Yeah, but I'm still gonna get it and paint it. Yeah, no, good. John Summers okay, read that. Maybe the dragon is a guy in a suit like Godzilla. Could be. When I get him, I'll take a tiny hacksaw to him and we'll see if that's true. Adam Sonnet, if I use the skinny minis, they will only be for dead bodies on the floor that players can loot. That's an awesome idea. You can use them as corpses. Thoughts or comments on FL's quest book being written by Stephen Baker? Yeah, good take. Good call. I forgot. The quest book was made by Stephen Baker. It's guaranteed to be good, classy HeroQuest fun, full of really interesting ideas, new mechanics, and just a good dungeon crawl feel. The story is said to be taking place alongside the game system story, which makes sense because this is pretty much going to be a different squad of heroes. And then, since this is compatible with all the expansions, you should be able to go from this into any of the expansions and make it make sense the same way that you would go from the original game system to any of the expansions. Somebody out there might bring up the, the suggested order in which the expansions are played. And I'm very grateful that Avalon Hill put out a canonical order, but don't feel obligated to follow that. It's just for people who asked for it. You can play the expansions in any order, complete the game system, go to an expansion. Nothing else really matters. They are sold to be compatible with your party of heroes after you complete the game system for maximum accessibility. And that is an Avalon Hill quote. And Black says they have a planned rant cast tonight. Well, that's good. That's good. That being Home of HeroQuest Fans. That's probably going to be at least Kurgan and Ribby. They are both there together at GenCon. They'll be broadcasting from the hotel. Maybe out on the floor. I don't know. It'd be pretty noisy out there. That'd be a pretty crappy experience. I would not advise them to do that. It would be interesting, but I don't think it would come across very well.
No, that place is loud, especially where they're at.
If it's cheap, why not buy 2 copies? There we go. Now we're back in the HeroQuest spirit. We went very quickly from, I'll not buy this, I'm going to skip it because of the associations and the art, to, we should buy 2 copies. I like it. We're back. Our heads are back in the game.
And if you don't mind, I could also repeat the price thing I told you about, the differences between the core and the First Light.
Yeah, please do. Lots of new folks joining. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I did the math, and for now, don't quote me on this, but for now, it is a 85 difference between the core set and First Light.
USD.
Yes, USD.
For our friends abroad. Although, you'll probably notice a lot of places that sell the base game had it drop in price, dramatically. It's still not as low as First Light is purported to be. But there are some platforms like Amazon that had it as low as 75, I think, or 69. It was down there. Uber Dark Knight, I think that is the plan. Do you think this eventually will replace the base game system box and eventually Hasbro Avalon Hill will phase out the big box? I think that the production runs for the big boxes are done. I think this is the new game system that they'll be focusing on going forward. That's my take. Please keep in mind, everyone, I'm not associated with Avalon Hill or Hasbro. I've had talks with some of the very friendly members of the team of Avalon Hill, those that made themselves comfortable and vocal in fan channels and the like, but I'm not on their payroll. I'm just an influencer outside of all that. I'm giving you my own take. It does not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of Avalon Hill. And just take my stuff with a grain of salt. I haven't been too wrong yet. There's been a couple of, like, one or two medium-sized things that I was like, oh, I was wrong about that, but it was for the better. But I have to say, my record of predictions has been decent. It's only a suggested retail of $50. You'll probably be able to find it cheaper. And at my friendly local game store, it'll be marked up. So yeah, you might find it less or more, but I bet you'll find it for $49.95 on Amazon. Sumo says it's about 85 euros. Ash is associated with HeroQuest. You heard it here first. Shh, quiet. Don't tell people my secret. Core set is currently $75 USD. Thank you for reporting that, Jay. That is a great price. If you are not wanting First Light and you're not sold on it, might as well buy a copy of the base game that's already out. Go ahead and get a second copy. Gift it to somebody for Christmas. If production of base box is ended, glad I have 2 copies. One to play and one for collection. Yeah, I don't want anybody to take this out of context and say that that's what's happening. That's just my prediction. I feel like the base game system's production run is done. I don't see them doing 2 base systems concurrently. I could be wrong, but I just don't see that being the case. I think you're going to find the base game at outlets for a long time at a reduced price. But at some point, that's not going to have a place in warehouses anymore, and the new game will.
Yeah, I've been hearing rumors about that too. They're pretty much done with the core thing.
I don't see the base game disappearing unless they provide another avenue for purchasing the minis, furniture, and original quest book. See, that's not their track record. Their track record has been 2 runs, done, on almost everything they've put out. You can buy this stuff now. It's for sale now, but I don't know that it's in production now. Your expansions that came and went and were tough to get a hold of for a little while, they did runs of those because they sold out fast because people were like, they had major FOMO. Every single freaking release. Every single release has had a bunch of FOMO, and they've sold out almost immediately. So they've had to do entire new runs, or it was the same run, but the next wave of the run, which this stuff has a lead time. So all that should make sense to anybody who understands or gets it explained to them. But stuff like Rogaire Velethorn and the Wandering Monk, these are not things that keep coming back over and over again, so I don't have high hopes that they're going to continue the production runs just for the sake of having them be available. That's not really practical for board game manufacturers. Board game manufacturers generally have the run, they sell, they make the money, and then if they want to generate more interest enough to make it worth their time reinvesting and getting another production run out, to say, yeah, the forecasted sales are going to be made, it has to be because of big changes with the game, just like First Light. The original game is marked down a crazy amount, and it's not because they're trying to keep it in production. It's because it needs to get off of shelves. What I want to know is when they're bringing out a sci-fi version of HeroQuest, Star Quest, Space Crusade, they could do it. They could do it, and let me cook. Let me cook, as the kids say, before you go on telling me about Games Workshop's hold on the game system. You're right, but doesn't stop them from making a variation using the same rules. I don't think they would.
Oh yeah, no.
I don't think they would do that, but they could. They could take this. They could actually use the HeroQuest property as it is now and just convert everybody to cyber. They could put scouters over the orcs' eyes and give them big machine guns. They could give heavy bolters to the goblins. They wouldn't call them Gretchen. and they could bring back Space Crusade. And don't think for a second they couldn't strike a deal with Games Workshop, because they've done that twice already. We've got Talisman, which is still owned by Games Workshop, licensed by Avalon Hill. And we have confirmed through the EAN leak a few months back that Avalon Hill is producing a Warhammer 40k card game. So, people who want Space Crusade, don't lose hope.
And who knows? It's probably in the works, and we just don't know about it yet.
Yeah, that would be a genie. Somebody rubbed a genie lamp to make that happen, but I mean, it's not impossible.
Nope.
All right. Well, it's 4 o'clock. My stream plans were from 2 to 4. I know I had to have a lot of setup time and lead time to make sure that everything would work. Unfortunately, that's just the reality of me and this particular side of things, because every time I open up OBS, it's like there's been another update. I'm going to kick you back out for about 10 minutes. But I am going to go ahead and end the stream. So winding down, reading the last few comments. Someone somewhere pointed out that Keller's Keep and Return of the Witchlord will be that much more valuable, as expensive for people that just buy First Light to get the monster models. Correct. Yes, that will help. That will help clear out some backlog. And who knows? We might see additional expansions that are new versions of the older ones. We might see Return of the Witchlord and Keller's Keep perhaps in a single box, and it just has all the standee versions of those monsters, and perhaps 2 quest books reprinted, or perhaps 1 new quest book edition. And that would be interesting to see, but I'd say not impossible. If they make a gray Monster Quest pack with lots of plastic furniture, you can have the minis that way. I hope that they will consider continuing making expansions with miniatures and not standees. But seeing this, now that all of this is confirmed and not just speculation, it does make me think and suspect that they will probably continue with the standee trend. Bring back Space Crusade. All right, guys, I want to thank you all for tuning in. The engagement here means a lot to me. The attention, the kind attention to the channel means a lot to me. Thank you all very much from the bottom of my heart. Mr. Jay Blackstone, thank you for joining me on the podcast /video today. Any parting words before we head out?
Hey, just want to say thank you. I appreciate the time, and I had fun.
I'm very glad to hear it. We will do this again sometime. Got to. And a big thank you and shout out to Ribby and Kurgan and all the people, Mantic Games, and everybody who's been throwing the pictures and video up and sharing it in the Amalgam Archive Discord, the official Discord of AshQuest, Amalgam Ash, and everything else Ash-related. So please consider liking the stream, comment anything you'd like down below, and have a great day, everybody. I'll see you.